All right. Uh, let's move on to the next one. I think it's important to share a little bit about who my parents are and why I made that interesting entry over there. My dad was always a tough guy. Uh, Growing up, he was somebody who probably would love to argue with you. He was very intelligent, loved to argue, loved to debate. No ifs, ands, or buts. But he was also somebody not to mess around with. And that he was, you could, it was guaranteed to get into trouble. He wasn't really a bad kid, but he was one of those guys that the nice guys like me would say, here, you go over there. Yeah, that it was one of those type. That could be a good thing. And that, as long as I didn't pick up some of the bad habits. uh, my mom, she grew up with an alcoholic father who apparently there was a lot of problems. And there was also, I'm not really sure on how to describe things, but it, these things had an impact on them and their perception. But one of the things they knew growing up and from what they were seeing in the world around them is children who have serious disability are not exactly thought of so kindly these days as they are these days. I mean, seriously, it was more like ship them off to the institution. That's what they did. Ship them off. Oh, he must be somehow a defect or things like that. That was the mentality. There was also the mentality of, oh, he'll just stuff envelope, no future, no hope, and that. But that really wasn't what mom and dad wanted me. They wanted me to be way independent, be independent, and to think for myself. Because if it is, you know what, if Barry had to rely on others, and he's going to be vulnerable to a lot of wolves out there and a lot of snakes and things like that. Well, yeah, it is true, but it wasn't the Horrorville that they thought or imagined. They didn't know of the changes that would come. But I'm glad, though. I'm glad they taught me to be independent and to think for myself. And yeah, but at the same time, my dad would try to prepare me for what was coming by telling me jokes that really didn't help in the long run. Barry, if you're not careful, they will ship you off to some institution doing basket weaving. Yeah, I wonder who they were. I would hear that. Or watch out for the guys in white coat. All that crap. Uh, really? Funny, I haven't, but I do know the mentality that he spoke of because I did run into it. Ah, my mom, she was really a sweetheart. She wanted to be supportive, but she didn't. Both my parents were. My mom kind of dropped out of high school. Actually, didn't even get into it much. My dad graduated. Uh, since college really wasn't in the card for him, I guess, or I don't know what, but from what he told me, his dad made sure his buck got into the Marine, and the Marines did a beautiful job on him. They toughened him, all right. They did all those other things, good things that went along. So I have to give thanks to the U.S. Marine for making my dad such a wonderful person and helping. Oh gosh, and I'm sure there were a lot of other things, like having wonderful grandparents. Uh, my grandmother, my dad's mom, was definitely She was raised Catholic, but not a traditional Catholic. I don't think so. She was an immigrant from Italy. Uh, and Grandpa was, I don't know if he was the leader of a steel workers union or what, but that's what it was. The man was actually a hero, too. He once risked his life to save some guys who were trapped in the sewers or something like that, and got them out. Ooh, yeah. I have to give Grandma Lorraine credit because it's not easy if you have an alcoholic husband. Yes, he was a veteran of World War II. Uh, he served in the Navy, I think it was, or Merchant Marine in Puerto Vallarta or something out in the Pacific. But that was my family, and it played a role in some of the things of who I am as a person. I can see where I I got my independent thinking, the boldness, and all these other things, and the willingness to stand up to people and that. But why did I say no special treatment? Like I said at the beginning, they were concerned about how I would treat, so they made sure Barry would learn to be independent, no special treatment, don't all that. I would be just like everybody else. The problem is, I'm not just like everybody else. There were real needs that had to be met. So thankfully, and funny, my dad would complain about those liberal teachers in that school. Thank you, Father, for the wonderful liberal teachers from the 1970s. Thank you, God, for blessing me with those wonderful teachers, even if they weren't really liberals. They were probably Christians of one type or another. So I say thank you, Father, for that. Oh, God, because I was blessed. God was providing such wonderful things for me in that.